Hey gang, it's Bryan from FXBilliards. Today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite subjects. That is multi-rail position. The first shot we're going to look at, you're actually going to pick up 4 different tips from this one layout. This is going to be played like 9-ball because I want to show you how to get from one specific ball to another. But if you don't have multi-rail position in your game, chances are you are not running out at 9-ball ever. But these are going to be shots that are very important to you running out in 9-ball and 8-ball. And this first one, as I said, is going to have multiple lessons built into this one layout. So let's get going. First mistake, you guys have heard this before. If you leave your cue ball in space on pocket hangers, you are making a mistake. Put your cue ball on a connected rail. What does that mean? If I leave my cue ball here, look what I can do. I can come off the 2-ball here, get down table from the 4 for the 4-ball. But if I leave my cue ball here, I can come off of this rail, and then get down table for the 4-ball. So that's what we mean by connected rails. I've talked to you guys about this before, and I still see a lot of people that should know better playing these shots incorrectly. So what do we do here? We shoot a draw shot. In this situation, it could have ended up being a follow shot, but we put our cue ball as close to this rail as we can. Now what we do is we play high left-hand English. We come off of these 3 rails. This is not a difficult shot, guys. Everyone watching this can make this shot. High left-hand English. We come off of these 3 rails and we get an angle, not straight, but an angle on the 4. Why are we getting an angle on the 4? Because we have to get on the 6. Do you see we're 4 balls ahead? If we play the 1 incorrectly, we can't get on the 2 in order to do what we need to do on the 4, which we have to have a spot to get to that has an angle that allows us to get on the 6. Sometimes your multi-rail position shots are not obvious. Now, this is probably the most exotic of the shots that I'm showing you today. But if we play this 10-ball with inside English, we can end up on this 8-ball by coming off of 3 rails. So the shot looks like this. This is high right-hand English. You need a good stroke for this, guys. Follow through. We come down. We come off of 1, 2, 3 rails, and we come up for this 8-ball. This is one of my favorite shots. It is absolutely a spirit breaker. And even though you might not get that opportunity very often in a game, if you have that shot, like I always say, you've got hundreds of other shots in the bag. So let's break that shot down, guys, because this is a good one. Your cue ball is just about here. You want to cut this in. You don't need to compensate for the English. You're going to hit this with so much speed and you're so close to the pocket that you don't need to do any kind of compensation. What you don't want to do here is you don't want to baby this shot. This shot is about half break speed, if you will. If you baby this shot, you will stop here, which is fine if your 8-ball is here. No problem. But if you want to come all the way up here to play the 8 in this corner pocket, get down on the shot. This is about 7 miles an hour. We come down. You have to have enough speed to bounce out and get this angle on the 8-ball. Let's look at the same shot. And this time, our 8-ball is here. We're basically shooting the exact same shot, but we don't need to put as much speed on it. You don't even need to come all the way back to the rail. So here we're cutting it in, same shot. We bounce off our rail. We don't need to come all the way out here. We have a shot at the 8-ball. You don't have to have perfect speed. You've got a large zone in here where you're good. So you put that shot in the bank, you've got a lot of shots that people have never seen before. Let's look at a couple shots that would get you down here for this 6-ball. We're on the 5. We need to get down table for the 6. If we play this with high right-hand English, we could come off of this rail and head down here for a shot on the 6. Now, we could have this angle and come this way. We could have this angle and come this way. We'd only use 2 rails if we came this way. If we want to come this way, what'll happen is we'll have to use 3 rails. What will be our 3 rails? Here, here, and here. And once again, and this is very important, remember that we don't need to be able to make the 6. We need to be able to make the 6 and then to the 7. So our shot will look like this. High right-hand English, we don't want to get super straight on this 6 ball. We could if we wanted to, but we don't want to. We want to have an angle like this on the 6. So many players are trying to get straight on these shots. If you did have the skill to get straight on this, you didn't have the skill to run out because you wouldn't get on the 7 very easily. So from this angle, we can just make the 6 and we're automatically on the 7 ball. So be very careful while you're playing position, not just multi-rail position, but any position shot. You're not getting on the next ball, you're getting on every ball. How significant is this shot? It's important enough that I've made entire videos about just this situation. We're on the 1, we need to get on the 2. By now you figured it out. 1, 2, 3 rails. We hope to miss the 7 ball, but we also want to have an angle on the 2 ball. If we come in too narrow here, then we're going to have some trouble. So we play high right-hand English. That should bring us on this side of the 7 ball. We want to make sure we don't get too straight on the 2 ball, and the shot looks like this. Now some of you are going to say, Brian, what's the gimmick that I use to know where my cue ball is going to end up? The gimmick is called reps. If you shoot enough of these and you put in enough reps, you have an idea, number 1, where that cue ball is going to come. Number 2, what kind of speed do I need on that cue ball in order to make it stop here, as opposed to coming off the rail and ending up perfectly straight. Those of you who are regular viewers of this channel, you're probably thinking, when is Brian going to show the 3 rail shot where you're on the wrong side of the ball that's going in the side pocket and you need to come off at 3 rails to get on a ball that's down here on the rail? The reason you're thinking that is because I've shot it no less than 6 times in videos over the last 4 years. The reason you've seen it no less than 6 times is because it is that important a shot. It is the genesis of so many other shots that require multiple rail position. So what we do here is we play high left-hand English, guys. Good follow through. This is a forced follow shot. We come off of 3 rails. We get position on this 7 ball. We held up so that we didn't scratch, okay, but this is a makeable shot. I could have really let my stroke out a lot more, but we're playing another multi-rail position shot. 2 rails, 1, 2, and we're on our 8 ball. Now, you can shoot that shot, as I said, and let your stroke out and get even further down table, but what you don't want to do on that shot is scratch here. And until you know that angle, you're not sure whether you're going to end up here or here or here. But if you need to get on another ball after this ball, don't get totally straight on it. If you remember, I said earlier, if you have these shots, you get a lot of other shots, sometimes hundreds of other shots that will go along with them. If you remember our shot in the side pocket earlier, where we came off of 2 rails back here to get down table for the 11, here we have a similar situation. We can't go forward with the 15. We would run right into the 8 ball. Even if we could, going up and back is not an opportunity because these balls are in our way. We have too much traffic, and unless we got crazy lucky and split them, we're not going to get down here for the 11. But we can go with low left, similar shot to what we did in the side pocket here, and get shape on this 11 ball down the other end. So our shot looks like this. Doesn't take a lot. That's not a big time draw shot, guys. Just a little bit of low left, and we got this position. A lot of you have seen this shot in our videos where we're on the 7 and we obviously need to shoot the 8 next. Even when there's traffic on the table, you can pull off this shot. So we're playing high right-hand English. We come off of those 3 rails and we get nice and straight on this 8 ball. We don't want to be all the way on the rail, but this is a much better position than having to shoot a bank shot, which is what I see an extremely large number of amateur players ending up doing after they have to make that type of situation. Understand how useful these shots are, guys. Same situation, ball's on the rail, but now our 8 is all the way down here. It's the same shot. Now we have some distance here and we have to play this with running English, but your shot might not be as long as this. You might be right there. It's the same shot. You have to have these shots in the bag or there's certain runouts you're never going to achieve at a pool table. So we play this with high right-hand English. We're hitting the ball and the cushion at the same time. Just enough speed to get us down table. We have an easy shot on this 8. How do I know I'm not going to scratch? If you shoot enough of them from different angles, you'll realize, hey, if my object ball is here, I scratch over there. If my object ball is here, I scratch in this corner pocket. You will get a feel for it just simply from shooting these shots and shooting them multiple angles and different speeds. Here's a little exercise that'll help you guys with your multi-rail position. Take ball in hand. We have the 1 and the 3 here, the 2 and the 4 here. Now often what I'll do is I'll give this to students. We'll put the 2, the 6 and the 4 at one end, the 1, the 5 and the 3 at the other end, and you have ball in hand on your first shot. What you're doing is going from the 1 to the 2 to the 3, the 3 to the 4. So start out with 4 balls and try it like this. You don't have to put a lot of speed on this because you make sure you have an angle that allows you to get back down table for the 3. So again, high left-hand English this time, and we come off of these rails and we get down table for the 3. We don't want to get perfectly straight, so your speed is important. Where do we want to go? We can go this way on the 4 ball. We can come this way on the 4 ball. If we play this with high right, we're going to be coming in at a really nasty angle to get on the 4, so I might go up and back. But because we're talking about multi-rail position, I'm going to shoot the multi-rail position shot so you'll see exactly what will happen to our cue ball. We can come down here. When I say it's a nasty angle, I mean this could go really bad, okay? But we have a very makeable shot here on the 4, and you could go up and back. The problem with going up and back is you risk scratching in that pocket. No, I'm not going to scratch there, by the way. So try that with 4 balls. If you decide to go with 6, it's a lot of fun, but you're going to put the even numbers at one end with the highest ball in the center and the odd numbers at the other end with the highest ball in the center. Here's one that you guys ask me about all the time. I've done this a couple times in my videos. You've seen this. This is one of the best drills for getting in multi-rail position and understanding the speed involved. You play the 1 ball, you come off of 3 rails, and you get right nice near the middle of the table so that you can play the 3. Just a bunch of right-hand spin. We get back to the center of the table. Now we do the same thing with the 3. But guess what? It gets easier because I don't have to be in the center of the table for the 6. I can get greedier on my 6 ball position. So I shoot another shot, letting my stroke out. And now I can really hit it hard because the shot's just going to get straighter and straighter as it goes down. And then you just finish it off. So try that one, guys. It might take you a few tries before you can do it, but it is very good at controlling that speed off of those multiple rails. And any drill that allows you to shoot a lot of these in a short period of time is going to be worth doing. If you leave yourself a lot of thin cuts, you better leave yourself an understanding of multi-rail position. Because if I have that 3 right now, I'm going to shoot it in the corner pocket and I'm going to be on the 4. But what if my opponent's ball is in the way and I can't do that? So let's say I have something that looks like this. So now I can't play the 3 in that corner pocket. I need to cut it in. You better have an understanding of multi-rail position. I know from here, if I play this with high right, I can possibly avoid those balls, come down here off of this rail, and still get on the 4. But here's the good news. You got to play. You can't have a myopic view about these things. You have to play it out in your head. What if this happens? It's game theory, right? If this happens, then what will happen after that? Now, if I run into those balls, guess what? I'm still on the 4. I'm not worried about running into those balls. But if I avoid them, I can come down here, bounce off this rail, and get a nice position on the 4. So here's shot 1 and what it looks like. Right hand English, nice speed, I bounce out, I have position on the 4, and I have an angle that will allow me to get on the 8. Let's see what happens if it's played quite a little bit differently. Okay, so this time, no English. I just cut it in. And I come down and I have this. If I don't put the right hand English on it, I end up with this situation. I can bounce this, I can do anything I want. I'm not going to get position on this 4. Now, if you're paying attention, you realize that I could stop the cue ball there. But anytime you have a thin cut and you're trying to stop in a very tight zone, because look where I have to stop. I have to stop between here and here to have a legitimate shot on that 4 ball. But my first shot, I'm moving in line, literally moving in line with the 4 ball after coming off of those rails. Just because you're coming off of 3 rails doesn't mean it's difficult, guys. You need to shoot enough of these that you know what's going to happen.
If you enjoy FX Billiards on YouTube, you'll love FXBTV. It's the ultimate streaming platform for exclusive videos, tips, and techniques you won't find anywhere else. Join now to lock in our special introductory rate and be part of the FX Billiards community.
Have a great day. Thanks for watching. I can't show you every possible multi-rail position shot. I showed you some that are very creative, that are going to give you hundreds, if not thousands, of other shots. So make sure you are putting those in play, practicing those. The more exotic ones, they're going to win some games up here for you because your opponents are scared to death of you after you execute some of those shots.